Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Tuesday Talks with Ashley and Angelo. I am waiting for Angelo to hop on. This is, where we talk about all the latest real estate headlines and news and everything going on in the market. Myself, I am a licensed real estate agent, and Angelo Datseris is a licensed mortgage broker. He owns a company, Leverage Lending Group. Uh-oh. Let's see. Having some technical difficulties. Yeah.
What up, Ash?
Hey, how's it going?
What is going on, dear? How you doing?
I just dropped my phone. It's fine.
Did you? Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Cold out there, isn't it? Brrr.
I know, it's
cold,
freezing.
cold. Yeah. You got your
So,
tree up yet?
oh yeah. I mean, I live in Christmas Town. Of
I
course
mean,
I do.
that was a stupid question. I know. I'm sorry.
So what's been going on? Did it stay quiet last week because of, as tradition with the Thanksgiving holiday?
It was very quiet last week, and I knew it would be. It did. It gave us some time to kind of, get caught up on some stuff and, close out some compliance files and stuff like that. So yeah, it was, it slowed down just enough. And then this week, bonkers, wide open again.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But hey, I'll take it. How about you?
Yeah, the same. I have a closing, coming up, and it's funny because it's so different when I have clients that, like, when I work with clients, I have like a preferred vendor list, right? That I always provide to them, involving people that I work with and I have relationships with and I know are amazing, like
Right.
yourself, attorneys, insurance agents, things like that. And it's, when a client chooses to not use that list, that's fine, because that means that, a lot of clients have relationships with these people already. And I love that loyalty and I want to support it, but it just makes it a little bit more difficult for me to help, do some things to expedite anything. So,
Well, when you have that relationship with those said people, they don't want to let you down. I mean, if you don't have a relationship with somebody too, it's like they're like, well, I don't know you. I don't care about your people.
Right.
So yeah, I get it. It's a little frustrating. Yeah. A lot of times with the title company down the hall from me, I do a ton of my refi business with him. Like almost every refi that I do is with him. I give them a list or whatever. I said, this is a guy down the hall. This is a guy I know. I know I'm getting my title back in 3 days.
Right.
I know I can close if, the first day available to close. I know that if I call them at 10 a.m. that they will schedule it and they'll find a notary to close it at 12. You have those people in place that, that can get stuff done for you,
or you can call in favors,
Exactly. Hey, I need you to do this, or hey, what's this on title, or whatever. It's just, they're great, and it's just back and forth, and it's quick. Because you know me, I'm like quick, and so it's just awesome to work with people that are just on the ball. Because there's some other, there's attorneys that they like, well, if you send them a title request, I'm not talking, this is just the way they operate, which is fine. But if I send them a title request, oh wow.
Sorry.
If I send them a title request, and if the closing's at the end of the month, they'll be like, well, it's not priority. We're not going to do the title search until 2 weeks before closing. Well, why? Why don't we just get it done and just, knock it out? So I don't know, whatever. To each their own.
I think, and this year especially the, third and fourth quarter, everybody has been all vendors, no matter what, right? Every title people, attorneys, lenders, everyone is stretched really thin.
Right.
because the volume, the rates are low, people are wanting stuff. So everyone's a little stretched thin. So that just adds, that compounds, right?
Yeah,
That
right.
pressure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So
And stress levels are stretched thin and everything
yeah,
else. So yeah, I get it, but when you, yeah. You need to close on time. You got to have people that are on it.
yeah, yeah. And then, we had a client that we've worked with, who we love, sent us an article this morning about what we can kind of expect rolling into 2021.
Yeah. Yep.
And I thought that was an interesting read. Were you able
Definitely.
to look at it?
Yeah, I was able to look at it, and right before we jumped on the live here, I just did like a what if scenario on like basically average median sales prices in Charlotte now versus average median sale prices that could be in Charlotte next year if it keeps, and if if the economy and the economy, if we get a vaccine and we're back on track and we're healing people, and that's not the best for mortgage-backed securities because more people in the housing, that are employed have more money to spend, and so that's going to raise rates. So I just did like a what if scenario on a 280 for as of I did two different scenarios. I did one scenario of 278,000 sales price with 5% down at today's average market rates, good credit score, yada yada. You're looking at a payment, just principal and interest, principal and interest payment of $1,085 with a 2.799 rate. Now, let's fast forward to next year. Let's say that the sales prices keep rising because there's no inventory. Okay. 5% down on I just used 289 as a number. You know what I'm saying? At a 3.875 rate, about a point higher. That payment's $1,291 different. So you're you're 210. You're $210 more in payment. Potentially with if the economy starts getting better and the rates tick up. So I agreed with that article in a couple different ways, but they're not factoring in how low the rates are because you have more buying power now with the lower rates. And if it goes up next year, if sales price goes up and rates go up, then you have much less buying power. So I just wanted to throw that out there for you.
So this article basically, it was a Bloomberg article, and basically what it said was they predict a very strong economy through 2021, right, with the rollout of the vaccine. And they're basically saying if the did they say the majority of the population, if they got vaccinated by May?
Something along those lines. Yeah.
And which is going to help the economy, right? It's just everything is going, because this year everything was so slow as far as like jobs and
right.
things like, so that's going to help, right?
Correct. It's going to move everything at a faster pace, right?
Maybe we're holding off this year on selling because they don't want people in their houses, maybe put their houses on the market next year. But to your point, and I like what said too about builders' confidence levels being
right.
very, and I'm sitting there thinking, well, yeah, they're going to be high. They have
yeah, they do, because they're the ones that they're the ones that control the inventory, is how fast they can build. So yeah, of course it's going to be high. Yeah. 1000%.
Yeah, I'm like, that's going to remain high too, because the inventory levels we are at just critical shortages, and we have been.
Yeah.
We are critically low.
Right.
In a market, right? You'll see stats that say months of inventory or months supply of inventory, available in a market. And right now we're like we keep hovering between 1 and 2 months. In a healthy level market, real estate market, around 5 or 6 months.
Oh, say yeah, about 5 or 6. Yep.
So,
Yeah.
you know,
We had it good. We didn't know how good we had it a few years ago. Yeah.
I you know, but if the economy will get better, right? So when that happens,
Correct.
as you're saying, will go up, and that might hurt buyers this time next
Affordability level. Yeah.
year. Yeah.
Right.
Because the supply levels aren't going to change, that's what is making the pricing, the sales pricing high.
Correct. Only if there's, and then in that article, if there's like a rash of foreclosures because, because of the moratorium on, that's gone away it's going away. So if there is a rash that could help the
Right.
inventory a little bit, but we don't know yet. We don't know until next year.
What do you think about the foreclosures? Do you think that we're come because
I haven't the foreclosure. I never hear, honestly, I don't do a ton of research on the foreclosure rates, but I do, I see news headlines all the time about, like either just mortgage industry news. And they're always talking about the rate of forbearances that are like declining month after month after month. But I don't hear much about there's a ton of foreclosures that are getting ready to happen. I don't hear that, I haven't looked into it, but I just don't, I haven't heard that.
I do think if you're right, all the headlines are like, forbearance, the number of people that are opting in or need forbearance is going down. It's been going pretty steady every month, for the last at least 4 months, I would say. But I'm with you. That leads me to believe that we're not going to see a rash of foreclosures.
Correct. Right.
If we were, that would be a headline.
Right. The forbearances are increasing and people aren't paying and, and right. Yeah. So, the news always likes to blow up the worst things that are going on in the world. And so you don't hear like, you just hear forbearances going down, 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 down. Because, I think if there was, I could do a quick search, but if that was a big thing, it would be all over the headlines.
Yeah. Yeah. And, I do feel like sometimes it's a fear tactic because, that headline would inspire fear, which is what gets viewers, right?
Correct.
And so I just think it's interesting that hasn't been talked about more,
Right. Yeah.
Yep. But we'll see.
I'll do a quick little search, but so yes, so I know when we were talking last week, because it was the day that they were going to release the updated conventional loan limits. So conventional loan limits in non-high balance states, which is one of ours, there's high balance on the coast, but in Charlotte, it's increased from 510,400 to 548,250, which that's a big gap, from somebody looking to do a jumbo loan that needs to put some money down. It's, that's weird. I was already able to exercise that loan limit with a few of my lenders that they said, okay, we're not going to wait until January 1 for you guys to be able to do that. We'll just do it now, because it's when they're sold to Fannie and Freddie, and it's all these loans that are basically starting right now are going to be sold to Fannie and Freddie after January. So it's I've already been able to use it twice to help someone out in that, like, that was just kind of on the borderline, jumbo, non-jumbo, one was a refi, one was a purchase. So I was like, yeah, okay, all right, I can use this. This works.
Good for, that point of, I'd say, 500 to 600.
Correct. Yep.
Which is a great, if there's a lot of people with growing families, more space, so that will allow them to, potentially.
Yeah. Yeah.
land or
Right.
footage.
Instead of maybe having to put 10% down, they only have to put, 5% down to get to that limit, So,
I think
so yeah,
that'll,
it was interesting I was happy. I knew it was going to, I think when I was reading about it, I knew it was going to be right around that number,
yeah,
and they came out with it. So,
that's cool.
yeah. Um,
Did you find anything?
so kind of
Wait,
October 2020 foreclosure rates. This is from Realty Track.
okay.
Foreclosure rates. All right. So pre-foreclosures prior year was 78.6.
Million.
The percent.
Oh,
Percent. Yeah. So, and then it says prior month, 21.6. So the foreclosures from what I'm reading here, they're up 26. So prior year they were, oh, there's an arrow down. My bad. Prior year they were down 78.6%. And then the prior month, which is prior to October, it's up 21%. So the bank owned, the prior year was down. I don't really even know, honestly, how this chart
I think
works.
it's going to be hard to really get any real readings on anything until, I mean, we're going to need to get well into 2021 because there's been that, moratorium on them.
Right. Correct. Very, very true. One in foreclosure actions to housing units. One in 2,129 housing units. That's on the high. The low is 1 in 6. Pre-foreclosures. I can't quite read the graph here. So.
And I just don't think that there's a lot of good information on that right now. I think don't a lot of that like expire at the end of this year?
Yes, they do. Yep.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens with that. I don't know if they'll extend it. Do you think they will?
I would be willing to bet that they would, because we don't have a fix just yet.
Yeah.
I haven't, but I have not seen anything to say that they will, but I haven't seen anything that said that they're not going to either. So that's going to be up in the air as well.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
1% geographical comparison in North Carolina. I'll do some more research on that. Maybe we can talk about that next week. But I do see one graph on here. It's after April, the foreclosures dropped from December 19. This is like less than half of what was happening in December 19 was happening in April 2020. So when that moratorium came across, right. So these numbers are going to be kind of skewed because the half of this year there was no foreclosures.
And yeah, so like, because a lot of times you like to look at prior year, and that's
correct.
Like you have a good comparison. So we're gonna have to, for 2021, you're gonna want to look at 2019 in order to have any kind of idea on what is considered like typical, right? A typical amount of market. Because it's just gonna be, there's just not gonna be any data.
Correct. Right.
But we'll see. I mean, I hate, we don't want to see for necessary. I mean, it's just part of like free real estate market.
Right. We just want to see more inventory. We don't want it to be in the form of foreclosures. We just want to see more inventory.
Right. Just want more options for our clients. For sure.
I have, let me ask you this, Ash. I have a few and maybe it's because of rates and things. You know, historically, I've been doing this 17 years, and historically, like around Christmas time, Christmas, you know, last couple weeks, it's like people are like, they just check out. You know, they don't want to do anything. The last 2 years, though, it seems, I mean, rates have been great last years, but the last 2 years, it's been gangbusters. Like, you know, people wanting to close the week after Christmas before New Year's. So it's like, man, it's just, but you know, I guess, you know, when you have a house, you got to jump on it. So
Well,
if
yeah.
there's inventory out there.
Right. And we've been experiencing here in the Charlotte metro area for a couple of years, I'd say.
Yeah.
Where it's just super competitive, and when you find a house, you do have to act on it. And
regardless if it's on Christmas Day, you got to move into it. You know.
Yeah, I'm with you. I do feel like I do think it's going to be steady. I don't know this. I don't see any huge jumps between now and then, but
Right.
I think it's going to be steady.
It's going to be even keel. It will
Yeah.
be. And, you know, rates are going to be kind of around these levels for a while. I mean, there was a slight little, because more data came out about a vaccine, and Moderna's 94.1% FSC rate, like effective rate and all that. And there was just some news that came across from Europe and the stock market, the stocks and bonds they dropped their yield. And so it caused a little bit of, I guess, sell-off in the bonds and treasuries this morning. But it's like that. It's just sell and then buy, and sell and then buy. They're going to be hovering. It's like going to be a little seesaw, you know, at least for the foreseeable 6 to 12 months.
Yeah, yeah, which is good news, right?
Right.
For us, but you know, I mean, it's still a challenge.
Right.
That's what I always say when anyone asks me, like, was now a good time to buy? Is now a good time to sell? I say, I don't know. I mean, you're up roughly, you know, 8 to 12% around the Charlotte metro area from prior year. So I think that I want to buy as soon as you can.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, I don't know how many times I've said it myself, and my parents have said it, and like, oh, I should have bought that 5 years ago. Oh, I should have bought that 10 years ago, or 3 years ago, I should have bought that. It's always going to be a good time to buy, plain and simple. It really is. Right. So if the question is, there's no yes. If you find it, buy it. You know, if of course if you have the means, that's because you're going to look back on that day when you're like, nah, I'm not going to buy. And then 5 years are going to go by, 6 years are going to go by, and you're going to be renting, and you're going to be just making it rain out the window.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't, if, you know, just, it's that fear as well. But just do it. Honestly. I'm trying to funny with the whole mic thing.
I mean, what was it like? You don't, it's like something about acquiring wealth or something, like it's so much harder if you don't have what was that? Do you know what I'm talking about? There's like that article.
There's like a saying about it's the velocity of money. Yeah. So so if you start investing when you're 18, you know, which nobody ever does, but when you start investing when you're 18, every every 10 years, it's like that investment's going to double in every 10 years. And the more, then correct. Right. So the more money you have, and
you got to be a little bit more of a fighter out there if you're looking to buy. Correct. For it, but that's no reason to shy away from it. You know,
right.
You just going in, and I always try to set that expectation with my clients, and you just do it, and you just you know, you get in there.
Yeah, I look back at my first home purchase, and I was terrified. And I look back now, I'm like, man, wow, did I luck out on buying that property? you know? Just do it. Don't be scared.
Yeah. Call us. We'll help you. And we'll get you in a house. You don't have to live there for forever, but at least it'll help build wealth, right? It'll help that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But that's what's up.
Well, cool.
Yeah, let's wrap this up.
Let's wrap it up.
Thanks everybody for tuning in.
Yeah. Until next week. Please, if you have any questions, comments, shoot us a direct message. We'll talk about any real estate or mortgage finance questions that you have. So, sayonara.
Thanks for tuning in, and we will see y'all next.
Bye-bye.
Bye.